3-game suspension. Was it too harsh for the fake vaccination card?
Hell no. Hell no. You see, and guys, I don't need a solo shot. I want to see Tebow and Sam Acho when I say what I'm about to say, because, you know, these are the kind of things that annoy me. You know, you could say, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a phony. I am what I am. Love me or hate me, it don't matter. I'm going to be Stephen A. And the one thing that I know I am, above all else, is loyal and trustworthy. If I don't like you, you ain't find out somebody else. I told you. You know. You know what I'm saying? If I don't respect you, you know. You know, if I don't believe in you, you know. And if I ask you to place those levels of trust or belief in me, I exhaust myself trying to honor it. Period. Antonio Brown is a guy, I'm not going to disrespect Antonio Brown by bringing in one thing after another as it pertains to all the things that he got into, y'all. We just going to focus on this by saying this much. Knowing all the stuff that you went through, and that Tom Brady obviously vouched for you, you would do this to him? See, we don't want to talk about that enough in our society. We want to talk about somebody's action as opposed to the collateral damage they have done. Antonio Brown, when healthy, was an all-world receiver, considered top 2 in the game. Was mentioned in the same breath as some of the great receivers this game has ever seen. He hasn't dissipated from the spotlight to some degree because of his football skills eroding. He dissipated because of his behavior and what a distraction he was. Knowing all of that, knowing Bruce Arians wasn't inclined to bring you on board, but after being asked by Tom Brady to reconsider, he brings you there. You do this to them? This man, Tom Brady, got you. He let you live in his home at one time, as far as I can remember. Yeah, you helped him. You caught a Super Bowl. You caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. We get all of that. You're supposed to be on the team this year. If there's not even a rule, guys, Tim Tebow, there's not even a rule in the NFL prohibiting you as a player from playing if you're not vaccinated. What it says is that you have to go through additional safety protocols that could be a bit more arduous, a bit more cumbersome. That's it. But you don't have to get vaccinated in order to play. And still, you lied. You lied. He might be vaccinated now. But the fact of the matter is you wouldn't be suspended if you were vaccinated at the time that the NFL was investigating the matter. They found out that Antonio Brown lied. Just like, you know, you Aaron Rodgers, I'm immunized, as opposed to being vaccinated when you were deliberately deceitful. You lied. And you jeopardize other people's health. Yeah. It's very selfish. But I'm looking at Antonio Brown specifically, and I'm like, these brothers vouched for you, man. Yeah. And all it would have been was an inconvenience for you. And rather than simply being honest to ensure your availability, you chose to go this route. Your ass is lucky you got 3 games. It should have been more. Just because you lied. That's where I'm at with it, guys. Tim?
You know, obviously it's wrong. There's nothing right about this situation. But I want to move forward a little bit. And you know, you brought up Tom Brady. And going forward, my guess is that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady do, and I really think Tom is going to do what he does so well, and he gets the most out of players and people. My guess is he'll probably have a sit-down conversation with Antonio Brown, and he'll share how disappointed he is. But he'll also give him another chance like he's done with so many players. And my guess is after the 3 weeks that you see Antonio Brown come back and help this team at the end of the year and maybe on another run. I mean, I know their goal is to win another Super Bowl. And I think that's one thing that Tom has done so well in his career is given people more chances and believed in them. And I think you're going to see Antonio Brown adjust and adapt to probably play his best at the end of this year. And not that I want to minimize this. Obviously, it's the wrong thing. It's disappointing. It's just wrong, flat out. We all know that. Yeah. And I don't want to condone it. I just think that Tom Brady has done such a good job in his career at taking wrongs in the past and brought people in and brought in players that other teams didn't want and made the most out of them. And I think he's going to do that again with this situation, and is one reason why, you know, I have so much respect for Tom Brady, is he gives so many second and third chances to guys and continues to believe in them, but also by holding them accountable as well. And I kind of hope he does that in this situation. I hope Antonio Brown can learn from this, and I hope that, you know, there's a sincere apology, but also I hope that there's remorse and that there's change.
Sam?
Yeah. And the remorse and the change piece is obviously huge. But I have two things that I want to say. Number one, it wasn't Stephen A. the fact that he wasn't vaccinated when he presented the card. It was the fact that he got caught. And how did he get caught? By not paying his chef, right? That's just what it comes down to, right? His personal chef pretty much ratted him out. So yes, that is an issue, but then getting caught is the other issue. I'm not condoning it whatsoever, but it's by not paying due, by not being a person of integrity, or however you want to say it. Pay buddy, you pay him, you're fine, right? But all of a sudden, word gets out, and now, boom, you're out for 3 games. So that's an issue, number one, that you lied, yes, but also that you didn't pay the people you're supposed to pay. Everybody pay you, got to pay, number one. But number two, we could talk about like these next 3 weeks. The next 3 weeks, Antonio Brown is not going to play. He also hadn't played the last couple weeks because of injury. Tim Tebow is right in that when Antonio Brown gets healthy, and if he gets back dialed in, he can help this team win a Super Bowl, hands down. The question is, how much will Bruce Arians stay up with this? Like, how much? I know BA wants to win. I played for BA 2 years in Arizona and also a year in Tampa Bay. I get it that he wants to win, but sooner or later BA might say, man, AB, we need you on the field, not on the sideline, not suspended. We need you on the field. Yes, there will be grace. Yes, I understand that Tom Brady will bring him in and say, let's get this thing together, but also sooner or later this might catch up to him.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.